the other issue that I think is important that we discuss is the Trump's threat on Gaza. Amazing that so many people have realised that, firstly, this is his ideas around clearing out Gaza, completing the demolition that started with the IDF, to clear the land not just of the rubble, but to clear it of 2 million people, which is genocidal behaviour, is astounding. That Trump wants this to happen because he sees an investment opportunity, a chance to make money at the expense of the Palestinian people. And that when he raised this issue at a press conference, Netanyahu just sat there looking a wee bit stunned, trying, I think, to hide his emotions around this, congratulating Donald Trump because he's thinking outside the box. He's not thinking outside the box. He's in a completely different bloody universe to the rest of us. And he came up with this harebrained scheme. It's a brain fart. Smells bad, looks bad, and the reaction to it is one of disgust. So Trump now has been left with this fart, which he will probably try and run with because he just will not want to be humiliated by pulling back on this. And the Arab states in and around the Middle East have responded accordingly. They find it horrible. Jordan and Egypt are not going to take 2 million refugees. The Palestinians themselves don't want to leave Gaza, even though their homes have been destroyed by the IDF. They don't want to leave because this is their home. It'd be like if someone walked into your home, picked you up and threw you out. Would you be okay with that? Just because they were carrying guns, because they were there at the behest of the government? Would you be happy with that? No, you wouldn't. Well, the same thing applies to the Palestinians, even though their homes are brought to rubble. This is still their land. This is their home. But nevertheless, it appears that this is this moron's plan. This is what he wants to do. It lacks any understanding at all around what it's like for Palestinian people to live there because they've grown up there, they have family there, even though some of those family members have been murdered by the IDF. So, Trump's Gaza plan has staggered the world. Did he mean it? For now, that doesn't matter. The comments were brazen, swaggering, jaw-dropping, audacious, and to many, simply outrageous. Stupefaction mondiale was how the French paper Liberation responded on Wednesday morning. The sober-sided New York Times contented itself with improbable, usually a paper that backs Trump. A US senator gave voice to what will surely become a drumbeat charge across the Middle East and beyond in the hours and days to come, that what Donald Trump had said about Gaza amounted to ethnic cleansing by another name. Still, it is ethnic cleansing. On Tuesday, at the end of his White House meeting with Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, President Trump declared that the US should seize control of the Gaza Strip and permanently remove its 2.2 million Palestinian inhabitants to resettle in a place such as Egypt and Jordan. The US would own it and be responsible, said Trump. Well, that's empirical. That's taking over another country against the people's will and wish. will take it over and develop it, he said. Oh, an opportunity to turn it into some sort of estate, some sort of building project for Trump and his billionaire mates, so they could all make some money from it. There would be unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area, not necessarily the Palestinians, but for those people that choose to come and live in these lovely mansions that he plans to build along the shores. Though which people they would be was not specified. That's true. Gaza would be turned into the Riviera of the Middle East. It was potentially at least another wrecking ball move for a region that has suffered carnage and destruction since Hamas's terrible attack on Israel in October 2023, triggering 16 months of Israel assault on Gaza. Unsurprisingly, it was immediately countered by one of the key players in any search for solutions. Within hours, Saudi Arabia rejected the Palestinian displacement plan, asserting that it would not establish diplomatic relations with Israel, until now one of Trump's pivotal Middle East policy goals, without the establishment of a Palestinian state. And so we now have Trump decidedly disrupting the Middle East, not to mention any efforts that the Israel government has made and Hamas have made in returning those people that were captured in October 2023. And also, it will interfere with the return of Palestinians that have been hostages also in Israel. And it's like Trump has no concept of geopolitical consequences. He doesn't seem to understand that any decision that he makes is going to impact other persons' views of him, of the United States, of the power that was the United States. That over time, in a very short period of time, Trump is destroying whatever goodwill the United States had in the rest of the world. It has been diminished. And that there will be country after country who will choose to make a stand against the United States, whether it's done around tariffs, whether it's around USAID. We will start to see that the United States becomes the world's pariah. It will become a country that no one will specifically want to deal with. I noticed today, in fact, that the Postal Service of the United States refuses to accept mail that comes from China. Another slap in the face to China, not to mention the increase in the 10% tariffs put upon them. They will respond. China will respond in the vacuum being created by US aid being disposed of. China will use this as an opportunity, and so will Putin, in order to fill this void formed by Trump's government and administration. And that will be detrimental to all of us. And I think it fascinates me that suddenly we start to realise, I didn't know who USAID was until recently. And then I've heard a lot, read a lot about what they do around the world. And I'm not suggesting for a moment that they're not, in some areas, corrupt. I would imagine they are. And I would imagine to some extent the CIA has some influence over the things that they do. But nevertheless, they did a great deal of good as well. They did prevent, or have prevented, AIDS from spreading, Ebola from spreading, measles from spreading, other diseases that are in the world that could have spread to other countries. They have worked in order to limit that spread. So what we're seeing now, though, is the soft power that the United States has had being wiped off this planet, so that other countries will fill that void. And that is not necessarily going to be good for the rest of us. And it's sad to admit that, to some extent we've responded. We've allowed the United States to do these things because Other countries that are smaller, such as Australia, even though Australia does contribute a certain amount of this soft power to other countries around the world. I did a post on that yesterday in relation to Sky News getting their knickers in or not over all of that. Worth having a look at. But we do contribute, but we're a very small country, 25 million people as opposed to 350 million, and an economy that outstrips us by miles. And with a country actually that has very little trade deficit with the United States. So this is all taking shape, and I think we all need to be worried about it. So please subscribe to my channel, ring the bell for further notifications would be absolutely fantastic.